Alright YouTube, welcome back to another video by yours truly, Chef Andy, the one and only chef on YouTube, serving up good gameplay. Today, we're going to do a farm design by ILLMANGO, and it's going to be a melon and pumpkin farm. But first, we're going to check out our spider spawner that we built in the last episode. I made a nice little trail leading up to it, and a nice little terracotta spider to cover the entrance. It's not a full spider. I didn't feel like going all out with the terracotta here, but it just kind of looks like a spider. I think it's kind of neat. Alright, so we have a bubble column entrance, and this is actually a water fall off, like you just don't take fall damage in that single block of water. And we went ahead and decorated our levers and switches, made it look cool. We got some quartz pillars, red nether brick wall, quartz slabs, glowstone, chiseled quartz, chiseled stone. Rodney fell to the spider jockeys. I was getting quite a few of them, so we'll have to replace Rodney. Now, as you can see, the farm is producing, and also it makes quite a bit of spider eyes too with the looting. Alright, so let's move on to the pumpkin farm. Alright, so you're going to want note blocks, pistons, and observers, a light source, right? You're going to want all these things in abundance. And you're going to want a bunch of hoppers for collection. Now, it depends on how big you're building your farm. I'm doing a normal 9x9. Now, pillar up to the layer of dirt you're going to be working in. This is the layer I'll be planting on. So I'm going to pillar up one block from that layer, and then place a downwards facing observer. Then I'm going to go ahead and knock out all the dirt, as I don't want anything getting in my way. I'm going to place downwards facing pistons off the sides of that observer. Then I'm going to pillar up. We're going to pillar up there, and we're going to place downwards facing observers off the side of every single piston that we just placed. And you're going to want every other block basically being an observer. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to place in a temporary block. Here I'm using dirt, but I'm going to use the temporary blocks to place all of my downwards facing observers. As I am playing in survival, this is the easiest and fastest way to build. You could use slime blocks here, because they're a little easier to take out, but I chose dirt. And as you can see, once I get all my observers in place, I just go around and collect up all my dirt. Then I fill in all the gaps with pistons. Like I said, it's survival here, so we have to grind out these materials. I've just built them ahead of time. And we also, we want to build fast, so the fastest method is to get all your observers in, then place pistons. And remember, if you leave and come back, this is a spawnable platform. And as you can see, I have some friends here. Let's greet our friends. Oh yeah, that was a good shot. Not so lucky on this disappearing creeper though. Now I know what you're thinking. Maybe I get blown up with a creeper, but I actually was careful, and I found him hiding in the trees. He blended in very well. Alright, I'm using the zoom feature to hit him. And I'm not very good at shooting in zoom, as you can see. There. Alright, pillar back up to the top, and place blocks on top of every single downwards facing observer. Then in between all those blocks, place note blocks. Then, once you have all that placed, place a bottom slab of your choice on the very top layer, as this will prevent spawns from happening in the future. And also, don't click on the note blocks if you can avoid it. Now, I'm going in 5 blocks in a 9x9 to find my center. But wherever your center is, you're going to want to place several water sources in the appropriate places. Mine just needs one in the center. Next, build yourself a little staircase, because you're going to be going up and down quite frequently. Now, you can use a side trap door here to lower yourself, or you can do the elytra trick like I did. But go ahead and waterlog your bottom slab. This will prevent the water from pouring out the bottom, but still hold it in the block. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove the piston and note block above this water source, as they are not required, and I can save on materials for future projects. I'm going to go ahead and fill this in with whatever block I like. You could choose anything, but I chose dirt because dirt, yeah, I got a lot of it. Place your light source in the center, and if you do what I did and you place the plants in the wrong location at first, make sure that the plants get planted underneath every observer. A good way to do this is to till out underneath the observers, not the pistons. But if you do what I did and you place them in the wrong spot, just bone meal them back to full growth and break them. You'll get your seeds back. So here, I have to go around and collect up all my seeds again because I misplaced all of these blocks, guys. All of these plants were misplanted. I wasn't paying attention to where I was tilling, and I just started off wherever the heck I felt like. Make sure you start underneath an observer block. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to plant melons, 1 row, pumpkins, 1 row, and alternate melons and pumpkins to get the most efficiency out of your farm. If you want more pumpkins than melons, start with pumpkins first, then plant your melons next, and keep alternating. Right, once you have all your plants planted, crawl around in here and bone meal them all up to full health, all full growth stages. You'll notice every growth stage of the plant, the pistons fire. This is important for the farm mechanic. Now, go ahead and place your hoppers in, starting underneath tilled farmland, as this is the only place where the hoppers will actually pick up items. The only hoppers that will pick up are the ones underneath tilled farmland, as you can see there. And you can see the items sitting on top where there are no hoppers. Right, make sure you place hoppers underneath every bit of tilled farmland. You're going to want a couple of hopper return lines. You want 1 hopper line facing towards the front and 1 hopper line facing into the side so that they all flow into the same hopper. You don't want any loops, you don't want any backups in your system, as this will create a lot of lag. But as you can see, the more we do, the less items are collecting on the top. And here, I just follow a pattern that I see, and then I realize, wait a minute, that's not underneath a farmland. So now I have to go through and break them all because I wasn't paying attention, and make sure that all the hoppers are underneath farmland and pointing towards the same output. So here, I decide my second row can be my crossover row. So all the rows are going to flow into that, and then it's going to flow over. If you misplace a hopper underneath, go ahead and break it. It's just very important that your hoppers don't loop, and that they all flow into the same hopper. Our initial hopper here. Now you can see they're flowing. And just go around, and under every piece of farmland, right, you want to look at the farmland pattern and make sure you place hoppers under farmland going into your hopper return lines. That way it will all flow into one location where we can sort the items later. Right, now that we've got all of our hoppers flowing in the right direction, let's go ahead and start that process of sorting. So you want to make sure you have sideways facing hoppers, as if they point straight down, they will always dump items. Make sure they're flowing sideways. When you surround your farm, don't do what I did. Use glass, solid blocks. Non-spawnable blocks are ideal because then you won't have to put bottom slabs on top of them. So I chose glass. This will prevent any pumpkins or melons from falling out the sides and will stay in the farm and get collected. And again, guys, this is ILLMANGO's design, not my design. Grab yourself some named blocks. Some named filter blocks are always useful when creating item filters, as they are non-stackable, except for with named items of the like types. Now you're going to want to clear out an area for your redstone. I'm doing a small bit of redstone. I'm not doing a huge sorting system, as I'm going to plan on overflow for composters. Here I grabbed 8 hoppers because I thought I was going to be using a lot of them. Turns out we only needed 4. This is my design for water stream sorting. Well, it's not my design. I copied someone else's filter design. I think it was Impulse. I believe Impulse SV is the filter design that I'm using here. It's a simple hopper lock design using a comparator. Right, once you place in these filters, they'll start having items flow through. Don't worry about this too much. We'll come back to it later. Also, if you're following along with this build, I recommend that you watch all the way to the end, as I do take out a couple of these filter systems. They're not necessary for a hopper chain. If I was doing a water stream, these would be necessary. I don't very often do hopper chains, but anyway, you want repeaters facing out of all the blocks with 2 blocks up on top, 1 block down. Place redstone on top of the 2 blocks at the top and 1 on the bottom. This will put your signal into those repeaters. Now place blocks in front of those repeaters. The repeaters will power those blocks when they receive a signal. Now place redstone torches on those blocks to lock all of your hoppers in the chains. Now you have just completed your filter redstone. Now it's time to set up the filters. Place in 1 item that you want to filter, and then put in 1 named item in each slot to prevent other items from flowing in. This will make this hopper only collect that item. And make sure you set up the filters for the chests that you want the items to go in. So I'm collecting melons first, then pumpkins, as I feel that melon slices will get produced even more, but it turns out in the future, this thing makes way more pumpkins than it does melons. So if you want them both to produce evenly, maybe do more melons than pumpkins, and then they'll probably make about even. But I did more pumpkins than melons in this farm, and I get way more pumpkins than melons. I'm telling you, this farm makes lots of pumpkins and melons. So, like I said, we're going to take out the redstone that we don't need, and we're going to take out the filters that we don't need, because this is a hopper chain. This is not a water flow, so we don't need these. We only need 1 filter for each. Hopper chains are a little different than water flow. Water flow happens fast, and sometimes items can flow over filters, and you need more filters for the same item. But here, we can just do 1 filter each. So go ahead and fill in your area, make it look nice, make sure things are lit. If you're going to leave open air, spawnable spaces, make sure it's lit up. Alright guys, and there you have it. There's your sorting system completed. There's your farm completed. Now for me, this is the setup you could use, but I'm going to take out this last hopper, make it go sideways, and set it up for future overflow. Now you can have it overflow into lava, but with the addition of the new composter block, it would be a shame not to overflow anything you don't collect into a composter and get free bone meal. So I'm going to do a composter overflow for this thing. But not right now. Not in this video. Anyway guys, if you liked the video, please leave a like down below. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to see more content like this, let me know down in the comments below, and subscribe to me, Chef Andy, the one and only chef on YouTube, serving up good gameplay. Alright, we'll see you in the next episode guys. Bye bye, Schlitz bites!